right, day 5. It's the Monday, first Monday,
Make sure you ask us. I can't
second
back
week,
up on this or
and it's
it'll
the first
reset
video.
the test.
What are the two main things to look for
All of them.
for a head
Not
while
all of
driving?
them,
The first four?
but yeah. The second four. The second four. I don't know how I said it. I'm just saying. Like, I
So
think
2 on down is what you're saying?
What do you mean?
Two
It's
on
either
down,
1,
yeah,
2,
two
3,
on down.
4 or 1, 2.
One,
First
two,
four?
2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so you should have stuck with your first.
Drop.
This is out, this is out, this is out, and this is out. All these
knew I
are
was
just
right.
not in what we're looking for. Road signs and detours is going to kind of fall in with what I'll talk about in a minute. This is out. None of this really makes any sense. Traffic and road conditions are the most important thing. In traffic and road conditions, you're going to see this kind of stuff. Fire and flooding, you're not going to see that, not necessarily. Just, you want to stick to stuff that revolves around your driving environment. So traffic and road conditions is what we're looking for here. This one will tell you right off the bat. So this grades as you go. So to give you a nice, well, I say, any questions? We'll discuss this before we switch screens if you came back up. All right, number 2, we haven't went over this yet, but we're going to go over it now.
3.
So minimum tread depth for the front.
3.
Everybody know?
3.
Very good. 4:30 seconds tread depth.
What's the minimum lead tread depth for front tires?
Why is it
432.
4:30 seconds on steering tires and 2:30 seconds on the backs?
Is it because of the thread,
It's your tread depth. This is the depth of your tread. You get Jim one of those gauges to keep up here. So anyway, you got one tire up front. That's why they want 4:30 seconds on that tire. 2:30 seconds on the rear because your tandems. Tandem means what? 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay? So 4 on the front, 2 on the back. Because you got 2 tires. These are, keep in mind now, these are classified as what? Minimum tread test, which means I can only let my tread wear down to 4:30 seconds on the front, 2:30 seconds on the back. Right? Questions on that? Will be on your test 100%, so make sure you got that straight.
The minimum lead
Again,
tread depth for front
must
tires,
have more tread
432.
than the rest of the back. They're your leads. I call them your leads. Your lead tires are what is directing you and steering you, and it's extremely important. You've got a lot of busy items going on up in the front. All I did was fill it up, Rob. I didn't put any coffee in it yet. I see what happened. You understand? This holds more water pre-trip inspection.
What is the most important reason to perform pre-trip
Last
inspection?
time you had something like that, you were looking for the on switch.
number 3.
So again, we're looking for that word, right? Safe,
Safety.
safely. Alrighty. So, either one of those. Most important reason for safety, yourself and other road users. And to be honest, this is the simplest and most direct answer. The rest are out. And we are correct.
For word safety.
Alright, so now we're getting into some other little strategies here. And this doesn't necessarily have to be tractor, this could be a Class B box truck, whatever. Underloaded front steering axles to make the steering axle weight too light to steer safely. So what does that mean? So underloaded, which would mean I'm overloaded where? Right here. This is the 5th wheel. That's your 5th wheel where the trailer hooks into the tractor. The weight, remember we had that diagram? What's each axle rated at? See, we're already talking about A again. See how this works, right? What's each axle rated at? When we say 1 fully loaded tractor trailer carries what? Can
10.
carry up to?
10.
Fully loaded tractor trailer can carry up to 80,000 pounds. So each axle is rated for, you got 4 axles, 20 each, right? 20, 40, 60, 80. So let's say inside your trailer here, you got all the weight right here. If you're pushing down here, what happens to the steering tires? They go up, right? You're pushing down here, steering tires go up, which means you have light steering, which means you're going to go down a road and you're getting ready to get off that ramp there and you start to turn, the truck goes straight because you're overloaded. Now, we want weight here for what? Traction. That's your power wheels right there. Same thing you're describing. But we don't want to overload here because we're going to wind up pushing down too hard here, which means this is going to come up. And I know what you're going to say, man, I got this motor and all this weight up front here. How can the tires be off the ground? They can't. You will never notice it. You barely get a match pack under there. Where you will notice it is when you try to steer, the tires are not really on the ground enough to give you traction to steer. Therefore, the truck goes straight where you have what we call like steering, right? So this is true. This is true false. You may get some true false.
The front loading axles can make the steering axle true. Under front loading steering axles can make the steering axle weight too.
All right, very good.
Proper old good.
5. All right, so I got some problems with this, but we're going to go over it and I'll explain to you why. Proper oil pressure range with the engine what?
Idling.
Idling. So what is idling mean?
It's just on.
You're not what?
Not
You're
moving.
not moving, right? You're just idling. You're idling in neutral with the air brakes on, right? So what do you think in idle that oil pressure should be? And you'll get to see that live when you get outside. But if you're sitting still in the yard with it just going boom, 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 what should the oil pressure be? In theory. That's what we're doing. We're a theory show. So I can tell you this is a typo in my opinion because not only am I a CDL instructor, the CDL holder, I'm also a mechanic. And I can tell you they're looking for this. Well, number one, if in a diesel motor you got 5 pounds of oil pressure, you blew that motor. That's not enough to drive oil from out of the pan up into the top of the motor. You should be here, 20 to 40 idle, 40 to 60 on the road. 20 to 40 idle, 40, 60 on the road. You can take note of that if you want for just later on. These are the numbers you're looking for. So what do I mean by 20 to 40 idle? I mean like in the dead of winter, when you turn the motor on, boom, she should be pumping 20 pounds out of the sump, what we call the oil pan sump. What's up, Mike? Good, man. Before you even warm the motor up, you should be at 20 pounds. If not, you got to beat oil pump and you're going to blow the motor. They're looking for this, however, which in my humble opinion is wrong. This is what you have to, this is the kind of mindset you have to maintain. You have people out here with opinions that, in my opinion, don't matter. Because they're wrong. Right? NVA is a very good example of being wrong. Don't get me started on that.
Hey, Jim. Excuse me,
This
Jim.
is what they're looking for.
Question. Now, you say that's what they're looking for, 5 to 20. You say that's what they're looking for.
Now, up at NVA, you're probably not going to get this question. As a matter of fact, I doubt very much you'll get it at all.
All right.
At NVA, your guess is as good as mine what the answer will be. I'm telling you, I'm going to answer this the way I know it should be, and we're going to be wrong. Okay? Trust me. I'm trying to get you to trust me. You'll listen a little bit. If you got 5 pounds of oil pressure, give me another truck. the motor's done beat. Because you may have oil in the lower piston and ring area, but the valve train where your camshaft is at the top of the motor, the very top, you're not getting lubrication up there, she burnt up, no time flat. So, we're wrong here, but we're right. Alright? So number 6, I want you to write this down before we answer this. Alright? I want you to write down road rage with a little dash. And I'll give you the answer for that. And then I want you to write underneath the road rage, aggressive driving with a little dash. And then I'll explain to you why.
Brandon East here. Or Griffin. So Brandon East.
I think Brandon is PM. Is it? I think so. All right, so I need you to know the difference between road rage and aggressive driving. You're going to get this at MVA, going to get it in here. What do you think is the difference between? Is there a difference? Yes, there is a big difference. What's the difference between road rage and aggressive driving? Hey, no bullshit, girlfriend. Right? It is straight mental health. Go ahead. Say again? One can lead to the other. You're right. But in language terms, for MBA, road rage, you're looking for the intent to do harm. Write that down next to road rage. The intent to do harm, which means Charles, he's going right after this son of a bitch. Guy cut him off. He's going after him. I'm intending, or you're intending to do harm to either that car or that person. Road rage, on the other, aggressive driving, on the other hand, is what? Selfish, bold, and pushy. Write that down, right next to aggressive driving. Selfish, bold, and pushy. Any questions on that? So again, road rage, I have this intent to do harm. Aggressive driving. So let me give you an example of aggressive driving, selfish, bold, and pushing. I'm changing lanes with no signals. I'm cutting people off. I'm tailgating. You know, this is stuff you don't want done to you, but yet you're doing it to somebody else. Not a good thing, right? All right, so you got that. So what's the act of a motor vehicle in a what? Selfish, bold, and pushy manner, without the regard for rights or safety of others, best describes what? Aggressive driving, right? So this is not road rage. This is just aggressive. You're just acting like a fool, right? And you're right. Aggressive driving can turn into road rage, especially if you start, battling one with an individual. We'll get into some more of the parameters, what not to do. What do you think is the number one thing to do if you're having problems with somebody? Number one thing not to do? What do you mean? Eye contact. Yeah, well, it's primordial, man. If you're messing with me and we're locked eyes, it's over, man. Oh, we gotta finish it now, right? We got to go for broke. Yeah, so that's in your test. I know what you're saying. In your way, right? It is in your test. What do you not do? Eye contact. It's coming up. So very good. Any questions on this? So you got two types of, road rage and aggressive driving. Number 7. Now right back to components. So
What are the 4 basic
if you're not
types of
sure, I'm
retarders?
going to give them to you now. So how many types of retarders do we have? And what are they? I'm telling you, they're already telling you there are 4. So what do you think the basic retarders are? What are they? Very good. That's a good guess. So if we're eliminating, this should eliminate this. Oil in the retarder has doesn't do anything, so that's out. Slack is what? It's got nothing to do with anything, right? Now, solar. Yeah, I mean, maybe down the road a few years, who knows? So, engine, hydraulic, exhaust, and electric. Exhaust is, they got that in the first place because that's your number one retarder. If you hear these dump trucks coming down the road, tractor trailers, and you hear that, that's exhaust retarder. That's the number one retarder. You're probably not going to, these two work together. Engine brake is your internal engine that when you take your foot off the accelerator, it also triggers the exhaust retarder, but it triggers the internal braking system to shut down. Hydraulic, never seen it. Electric, what do you think electric retarder is in a commercial diesel motor? Think now, see if you think outside the box here. What would an electric retarder have to do to the motor to be able to reduce power? What are you actually doing to the motor? Electrical. Say again? Well, what would you have to do? What would you have to take away electrically? Spark. So diesel motors work on glow plugs. You know, we plug these buses in the wintertime. Got to plug them in, keep the oil warm. Because if you're not, they don't start. When first thing you're doing is you're heating the glow plug up, which warms the engine block. So an electric retarder, as you're going down the road, even in the summertime, if you were to take the electric away from that motor, the power would drop immediately. It's not as efficient as the exhaust, but it does work. Right? All right. Number 4. Questions on that? So again, exhaust, engine, hydraulic, electric. Exhaust, engine, hydraulic, electric. Number 8, here's your good old cell phone. Your CDL will be disqualified after blank or more convictions of any state law for using a handheld mobile telephone while operating a commercial vehicle. So this law changes and has changed. So I'm going to be honest with you. I have a good idea, but your guess is as good as mine here. So think logically now. I think logically, you know, I want it done. But I'm going to go to the old, not 3 strikes you're out. In this case, they're not going to give you 3 strikes. If you already got 2, they're going to revoke you. So I'm going to say 2, but who's for 1? All right? Who's for 2? Don't follow me just because you think I know what I'm doing. All right, so the ones happens, we'll go with 1. Right. Again, I think, here's my theory, no matter what, they're going to give you a slap on the wrist the first time. The second time, they're just going to figure that you're not paying. It's like you violating the judge's probation. You know, they don't like that. I don't think they like it either. I know here for a fact as I was that guy. You violate, they're going to send you back, right? So I'm going to say probably 2. Let's see. Yeah, so we're wrong. All right. Again, they'll show up at the end whether what the right answer it is. I'm pretty sure after 2, what we call convictions of handheld phones, you can't anything in your hands is really good. After 2, they're going to revoke. So for those of you, and if it don't apply, let it fly. Those of you who have a phone problem, and boy, there's been some that I'm going to tell you, I have people in here that it's serious now. And I get it, man. There's pros and cons with technology, right? But a lot of people will tell you this is the worst thing, right? Because, you know, a lot of people are dying because of these things. I've seen it up close and personal. But I had a couple of people in here, they'd be like this talking to me. I'm not on my phone. And they're on their phone. They really have no concept of that they're being holding. It's a bad picture. So anyway, when is it important to downshift automatic transmission? So you already said
It is
Kenny,
important to downshift automatic
right,
transmissions.
when are we going to do it? Before. Everything is before. So this doesn't have before. This doesn't have before. And this doesn't have.
Downshift automatic transmissions before going
Everything is
into the hill.
before the event, before the turn, before the hill, before the lane change. Whatever you gotta do before. This is you staying ahead of the procedure, making sure you've got procedure. I mean, I like it. All right, so hydroplane, define it. How would you define hydroplane? We've talked about this, right? Anybody remember pop quiz? What speed do we start hydroplaning?
35.
Close. 30.
30.
Right, 30 miles an hour. And how much water do we need? Not much. Very little, is what we said. So if you were defining that, which one are you gonna pick?
3. No, I mean, 2.
Two.
Yes, so it's a loss of contact. Here's the road, there's the water, there's your tires. Road, water, tires. Look at it. So number 2 speaks of that, the other ones are out. Questions on that? Very good. And you're correct. Number 11. All right, I want you to be careful here, slow down a little bit. Safe operation of a commercial vehicle requires skill in which of the following 4 areas? So think a second about what do you think is the most important 4 areas that you should be trained in and what order. So number 1, I want you to, again, I told you at the beginning, I want you to be out of the box thinkers. Now, when I move away from the screen, I want you to look and tell me right off the bat what has to go unequivocally. Because if you're reading correctly, what are number 1 are out?
Anything with respect, right?
No, stop. I want you to eliminate first. Tell me which ones unequivocally have got to be removed because they don't even fall in line. Now
2
read
and
it.
3.
1 and 4.
2 and 3.
Why 2 and 3?
Because when you're operating, I mean, it's asking you to inspect.
Everybody understand why 2 and 3 are out? Read the question. They're trying to trick you. This stuff's starting to elevate now. It's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder, right? What's up, Kyrie? What does this say? The first 2 words,
Safe operation.
which means what? We're moving. So, right? If you're inspecting the truck while you're moving, you're high. I don't know. You're hanging out the window or something? You gotta be high. I don't know how you're doing it. So these 2 are out, right? So now what do you got? And tell me between 1 and 4, what's going on? What's the most important?
1.
Thank you. Very good, man. Everybody get that? You gotta read, man. Reading is fundamental. Safe operation. I'm moving, vehicles moving, right? So these 2 are out. This is not necessarily important because we have both kinds of vehicles, right? We have automatic and we have manual. But these 4, you must know how to accelerate, right? Remember we said you gotta wait for gaps in traffic. You better know how to steer. Remember I've been telling you, small movements on the steering wheel, turn it. We already know this is the big one right here. And then backing safely. I'm using that word safely again because we want to try to what? Avoid backing if all possible. But when we do, we back safely. How do we back safely? We get out of the vehicle, check our path, neutral, parking brake, turn the vehicle off, pull the keys out, walk the perimeter. Procedure, man. We'll go over it. Very good. This is a tricky one. If you're rushing on this question, you can probably get this up there. You're going to get it wrong. You got to be. Very good.
Acceleration, steering, stopping, and backing safely.
12. We had this before. You know,
Yeah, two basically.
two basic reasons for parking cargo in an open bed.
And two
we
basic
say-
reasons for covering
What
cargo.
did we say
open
to
bed check.
never pick and why? What did we say to never pick here? When you're talking about covering your cargo, what don't you have to pick? Anything to do with environment. Why? If you're covering to protect the cargo from the weather, you're protecting it from the environment. You're always going to cover for weather. So environment is out. So you're covering for what?
To keep the covers secure.
It's number 3, to protect the people from spilled cargo and to protect the cargo from weather. If you're protecting it from weather, you're protecting it from the environment. People are the most important, right? So, don't steal it. I don't care, it ain't mine. I'm driving, man. You want that cargo, take it. Ain't worth your life, just take it. So these two are out because they have environment in there. There's your answer. I'll tell you, if you slow down, and you do your elimination procedure, you'll up your score by a third. You'll surprise yourself. It's the ones that rush. They do great in here, they get up there, and they get in that ooh, ooh, ooh. I know what the answer is. That ooh, ooh, ooh's going to get you leaving out of there with a tear runs down your cheek. You know, because you rushed. You gotta read it again. That'll give you a chance to process what they're looking for. And then eliminate it. You eliminate most of the time, it'll answer itself. You don't even have to. Especially up there, you're only getting 3 choices. Look, I'm giving you 4 and 5 here. So it's a lot harder in here than it will be up there. All right, so number 3. 13. Wheel bearing seals. Check the wheel bearing seals for.
Take your snaps and feed them to the birds.
Say again? Yeah, so this is pretty easy. If you're eliminating, you shouldn't take long. We don't care about color changes, smoke, gas, none of that makes any sense. Leaks. Bearing seals can leak. They leak, they can dry out, and you wind up having bearing problems. So there's your old CL manual. Look at how thick that is. Woo. Not good, right? All right, so we've been over this early in the training. How far ahead does the CDL manual say that you should look while driving? How far ahead does the CDL manual say you should look while driving? So if you're eliminating, what are you going to eliminate?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, what else?
4.
It answered itself, right? If you knew the numbers from the way we were training earlier, you'll know that these numbers are not going to jive. We're looking for 12 to 15 seconds overall
12 to
at a
15
highway
seconds,
speed
highway speeds at a quarter mile.
And how much in the city?
How far in the CDL manual?
1 block.
Which you should know while you drive.
Right?
12 to 15
So
seconds.
1 block in the city, quarter mile in the beltway, 12 to 15 seconds is your overall number. So you should be able to key in on this stuff now. Very good. Questions on that? Believe it or not, a lot of this is a numbers game. But you're going to be challenged, to be able to separate your mind with some of these numbers. We have a lot of 15s and 5s and 150s. you'll see is a lot of fives in this training, a lot of numbers in general, especially if you're in air brakes. Your following distance, 50-foot vehicle, or 40-foot vehicle at 50 miles an hour, how much is it? 40-foot vehicle, 50 miles an hour.
4.
5.
4 for the vehicle, 10, 20, 30, 40-foot vehicle, 10, 20, 30, 40, that's easy, right? 1 because we're between 40 to 55. 4 and 1 is fine, right? Make sure you're studying on that and driving time, that's coming up. 15. All right, so this is like a precursor for air brakes. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this yet. We'll save that for air brakes. What 3 things do you think? And then keep this in mind too, because you're going to get this question in MBA. It won't show up necessarily in general knowledge. It will be in your air brakes. It has to be in the right order. ERBB. I'm going to give it to you because we haven't really got there yet. So in this case here, very easily,
BD.
they're only giving you
These are 3 things that add up the total
the other
stopping
B
distance.
comes later.
PRBD. Perception, reaction, braking, and
There's a
distance.
B before braking distance called brake lag. So perception distance, reaction distance, brake lag, braking distance. 4 altogether, okay? And there's numbers that go along with that. We'll get into that later. Very good. 16. Shouldn't be too hard. Two important times when you should downshift. Make sure you're reading. 2 important times to know when to downshift.
1.
2.
Make sure you're reading. Read again. Very good. So I had 2 up. Very good. Guys, 2. Right?
These are 2
So
important times when you should downshift.
it's always going down the hill, not up. So you gotta go here. Downshift before starting down the hill and before entering the curve. Down the hill and enter the curve. This is dangerous. Going up the hill is not a big deal compared to going downhill because you're pulling yourself up. Gravity, you've seen the red truck. You've seen the red dump truck I showed you, right? Always remember the red dump truck. Keep that in the back of your
Watch the
head.
video, so you-
Always remember the red dump truck because you don't want to be that guy or that girl. That's the difference between downshifting on going down the hill and downshifting before going up. Can we downshift before going up the hill? Of course. You want to grab low gear and be able to get power going up the hill. That is not what we're getting at here. We want to be concerned with the downhill procedure so we're not running away and we wind up picking speed up that we can't control. The vehicle starts to get away from you, and next thing you know, again, the red dump truck. So, any questions on that?
Down south before starting down the hill.
So
Before
again,
entering the curve.
Got that work
Downshift.
before in all these. They're trying to trick you. So now you say, oh, there's all of them got before. Now you just need to know what's the most important, and that would be here. All right? All right, 17. Stopping is not always the safest thing to do in an emergency. Now you're seeing clarification of what I started teaching you earlier. What did I say about if your first reaction is to go to the brakes, you're taking yourself out of the equation. You're basically telling the other driver, I give up. You're telling yourself that too, I give up. There's nothing I can do, I give up. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot you can do. And a lot of what you can do is what? Don't step on the brakes. Brakes are not your friend. Maneuvering is where it's at. It will keep you in the game, it will keep you alive, and very much functional. You want to be able to not react. You know, there was I forget who said it. There was a motivational speaker who said that man's biggest act of faith is believing in a breakthrough. Anything. We never question once in the morning getting in our cars and going down the road. We never question whether or not that pedal is going to allow us to stop or not. We just put our foot on it and we never question it. That's actually a pretty strong act of faith, but it's all in the wrong area. Remember, without getting too preaching on you, but you remember what Jesus said about if you just got the faith of a mustard seed, you could tell the mountain to move and the mountain will move. I believe in that because mind is a powerful thing. And if we just are able to use a little more percentage than we are now, average person uses what? 5 to 8%. Not real good when you got 100% up there. You see the movie Lucy? Need I say more, right? I can't imagine. So I've been trying to decalcify my pineal gland. I know what that is? Third eye. You know, substances you can take from birth, we are calcified from birth. It was a protection, and without getting really heavy into this was a way to block us from the truth. Pineal glands are third eye to be able to see everything a lot clearer than we see right now. We're able to bring that back if we start to put in place things that will allow it to decalcify. Our diet, certain products, saline solutions that you can take that allow you to decalcify. I can tell you, I was taking this product and I had to back off for a little while called Third Eye. And the dreams at night was completely off the chain. Because that's where it starts. When you're horizontal is when you're open, right? So it allows you to have these three-dimensional dreams that are really prolific. And you got to take a little bit of time to be able to get used to that before you proceed further. So I'm kind of on the back burner now. I'm going to reset. So, how does that relate to this? You want to be outside the box. You don't want to be relying on the brakes all the time. Your reaction has got to slow here first before it goes here, right? You should be wanting to steer. So this is true, by the way. Stopping is not the safest thing to do. Again, you're going to do that before. Keep that in mind. Any questions on that?
Stop.
Again, we're not saying you're never going to use the brakes. You obviously are. As a finishing tool, not to get out of trouble. If you're looking for them to get you out of trouble, you're sadly mistaken. I would get you out of trouble. Good morning, Ian. Good morning, sir. How are you, sir? Great. How are you? Peaceful report. Yeah, yeah. Good morning. That's all right, 18. Careful here. Again, I told you it's not going to get easier, it's going to get harder. This is what's going to put you in an environment of superiority above Harry Homer. You're going to start seeing things and operating completely different. Retarders keep you from skidding when the road is slippery.
False.
This is false. Why is it false? Tell me.
Because retarders can actually cause the truck to skid.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. So, if you leave your retarders on and you got a drop of water on the ground, or dew, or sand, or stones, you're going to skid. And I don't care if you got any lock brakes or not. Your ABS may be working fine, but guess what? There's the road, there's the water, there's your tires. It doesn't matter. The ABS won't have enough time because it's up on top of the product. And the product would be water, sand, ice, snow, whatever that may be, right? So this is false. Retarders will initiate skid. Keep in mind, retarders serve a great usage when they're used right. You just got to remember in the morning when you're pre-tripping, if it's threatening rain or there's already heavy dew on the ground, you got to turn them off.
Hey, drive shit.
They're false. questions on that? Very good. All right. All right, 19. Which of the following is not, big bold letters, a common cause of vehicle fires? Not a common cause of vehicle fires. So if they want to know what's not a common cause, I want to know what is. What is a common cause of vehicle fires?
Liquor source.
Right? Right? So again, I'm reverse engineering this. They want to know not, I want to know what is. That causes fires. That causes fires. We're going to let that one go.
The problem.
This definitely
That
causes
causes
fire,
fire.
right? Right?
Yeah.
So what's not?
Loose air.
Airline ain't gonna cause, airline's gonna cause you other problems, right? What? You're gonna be in low warning, you won't have any brakes. Right. Because your air brake. However, it won't cause a vehicle fire. You gotta make sure you're reading these. Oh my God, they're the hardest ones. A lot of people get up there, they accept and not question.
You got your nails down, they clip on.
Cause you
They press
will
on.
wind up hitting something.
They press on.
So you gotta make sure you're reading. A loose air supply will not.
So the follow letters. Now we will use air supply lines.
20. All right, so real clear, what is black ice?